Hello again, Carol. Hello, Raquel. Hi, Mario.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, teacher.
Here we go again.
Yes.
How are things? Good, Raquel?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, teacher. How are you?
I'm all right. Thanks for asking. Okay. Claudia's here. Okay. Well, let's continue what we were talking about yesterday. Let me share my screen so that we can start our class. Let me move the position here. Okay. Yesterday, we were talking about very classical mistakes, not difficult, but classical ones that are made because of agreement between words that are in the singular, but they have a plural meaning, or words that are in the plural, but they have a singular meaning, and so on. Okay? I don't remember hello, Claudia, where we stopped. Okay, I think it was somewhere
We stop in using the
here.
important search.
Okay. So
We are
after,
going to the trousers are dirty.
the trousers are dirty.
The page 4.
Page 4, page 4. Okay.
This part.
Okay, good. You see, so the last one we saw was news, which sounds to be in the plural, but it's a singular word. Like I have just read the news in Brazil, and the news is not good. Okay?
No.
Brazil, yes, Brazil today had the highest number of deaths in the world. This is not good. But on the other hand, when I use trousers, when I use jeans, when I use pajamas, or just like PJ, as they abbreviate many times, PJ, okay? These words are plural, but it refers to just one single thing. In Portuguese, they are singular. Okay, we say, for example, meu jeans está velho. In English, you have to say, my jeans are old or are worn out, because jeans is plural, just like trousers, just like pajamas. Okay, understand this? So yes. The agreement must be with the word, if it's singular or plural. And we get confused because in Portuguese they are singular, but in English they are always plural. For instance, I need scissors to cut something. So a typical Brazilian would say, where is the scissors? It's wrong. I have to say, where are the scissors? Or as I told you yesterday, I can say, where can I find a pair of scissors? If I use the word a pair of, I can use a verb in the singular, okay? Sometimes I go into a store and they ask me, can I help you, sir? Yes, I'm looking for a pair of jeans. Okay, so a pair of jeans. So in this case, I can use a verb in the singular, okay? So the trousers are dirty. You see, the subjunctive mood used to express things that are hypothetically, wishful, imaginary, or factually contradictory pairs singular subjects with what we usually think of as plural verbs. It sounds confusing, but it's not. Okay, you can say, but I'm talking about one trouser. No, but it has two legs. Understand? Yes, that's why they say jeans, trousers, scissors, glasses. Okay, like, oh my gosh, my glasses are dirty. Okay, my glasses are. Okay, and in Portuguese, we don't say that. We say meu óculos está. Okay? So, but in English, no. The agreement must be with the word. Now, the other example we have here is, for example, if John were here, I would have met him. This is a great exception that exists in English in the conditional sentence. we have already talked about conditional sentences. If you use the second type of conditional and the verb in the if part is verb to be, I can only use were for all the persons. If I were, if you were, if he were, if she were, if it were, in the plural, of course, it's we, you, and they were. But sometimes when you listen, if John were here, I would have met him. Understand? It sounds very bad. You can even tell me, oh, teacher, but I've heard so many times in songs, if he was or if she was. Well, as I said at the beginning, even native speakers of English make this mistake. Understand? It is not correct to say, if she was here, she would know the answer to this problem. The correct is if she were. Okay? Yes. I remember once, it was a very funny situation. I was having dinner in Rio in a barbecue restaurant with two Americans. One of them has been a friend of mine for 100 years. The other American was a friend of hers. I just met her before dinner, okay? And I think she's still, yes, she is still a high school teacher in the United States, okay? We were in an educational congress in Rio. So it was very funny because during our dinner, I don't know what happened. I just said, well, if I were there, I would probably do that. And my friend's friend, she looked at me and said, can you repeat what you said? I said, yeah, sure. If I were there, I would probably do that too. She said, oh my gosh, I can't believe. I said, what? That you're using if I were. I said, why? What's the problem? She said, no, I've been a teacher in a high school in the United States for like 20 years. I never heard any of my students using correctly if I were. Everybody says if I was. And you are not even an American. You are saying if I were. Understand? I said, well, but that's the correct, right? She said, yes, of course that's the correct, but nobody uses. Understand? I said, well, but I learned it. So I memorized. And that's what you have to do. Oh, Erica, you are in a beautiful place today, huh?
Yes. Look
Is
my
that your
background.
house?
Everybody's learning.
Wow,
Yeah.
but how can you make the waves move? I can't do that, okay? My
Can you see?
background is static.
Like you can see, that's where I'm gonna spend my weekend.
Ooh la la! You're better than me, okay? Because if you look behind me, can you see the number of people on a square that till like 4 months ago was packed with people?
Yeah.
And today, I think there were about 4 people in this huge square, okay? So I will try to learn how to make my people move and move. You are
Google
smarter
it.
than me, okay?
Google
Okay,
it.
I will Google it. You are smarter than me. I like it. Very good. Very good. Okay. I will, maybe on Monday I will surprise you too, okay?
Oh,
I was so happy I could put just a picture and now you humiliated me. And yes, when I saw the waves moving, I said, it's not possible. How is she doing that? Even the palm tree, the wind is blowing there. Oh,
Yeah, it's very windy here.
oh. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay. I think my computer is not good. Okay, anyway, this is an exception that you have to remember. Why? One of the most common expressions that exist in English is when you want to give someone a suggestion, like you ask my opinion about something, and I want to suggest something. In English is, if I were you. Okay?
Okay.
For instance, Raquel is in doubt. She has a problem. She doesn't know if she gets married or if she buys a bicycle. Yes, it's a very serious decision to make.
Yes.
And then she asks me, teacher, what do you think I should do? Raquel, if I were you, I would buy 2 bicycles. Okay?
Not get married.
And not get married, for sure. Okay? Postpone that. Okay? Understand the idea? So if I were you, why not if I was you? Because it's a hypothetical situation. I'm not you. I'm just suggesting something to you. So the idea is, if I were in your shoes, I would do this. Okay? So this is a very common expression. It is possible that you listen to people in movies saying, if I was you. Don't think it's correct. It is not. It's just a typical mistake made even by Americans, okay? You see, in indirect narration, simple past independent clause is changed to past perfect if the principal clause is in the past tense. So it's always were for all the persons. Like if it were sunny and warm here like it is where Erika is, I would go out for a nice walk after this class. But it's rainy here, okay? It's not sunny, all right? So I'm not going out, okay? Good.
Okay.
Carol, can you read the next example, please? She told me.
She told me that she had planned to get married this December.
Okay. Observe the construction here. She told me in the past that she planned to get married this December. This is what a typical Brazilian would probably say. Oh, she told me she planned to get married in December. But think, the plan was at the same time she told you, or she made the plans before having told you?
She made the before.
Of course. Then we have to say, she told me, at the moment she told me, she had planned it. That action happened before the day she told me. And for some reason, Brazilians never use this. She told me she planned to do it. She told me she planned to get married. But it's not correct. She told me she had planned to get married this December. Oh, teacher, but it's future. She told me she will get married in December. No. Okay? When she told you, she had already made her plans. So if you want to say will, it's not possible. She told me she would get married, it's acceptable. Or she told me she had planned to get married this December. All right? Another classical mistake. Claudia, can you read the next?
If, however, some universal, this one?
No, that's what I have already explained. The next.
He told me that Earth moves around the sun.
Observe here an interesting construction. He told me in the past that the Earth moves around the sun. This second part is a fact. It's a true action. The Earth is continuously moving around the sun. So you don't change it to the past. It's a fact. So even though he told me in the past, the earth continues to move around the sun. So when you want to talk about a fact, anything that is real, you always use the simple present. He told me gold is a very precious metal. He told me that the COVID-19 may become endemic, okay? Not might become, because it's a fact, understand? So we use simple present, okay? Understand this, Raquel, Carol,
Yes.
Claudia,
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Isa, I saw you now. Understand this, Isa? Yeah, if you unmute yourself, I can listen to your voice.
I was making sign of you, but yeah.
I have not yet learned to read lips.
Okay.
I only understand lips when they send me kisses. Then I understand. But I don't remember the last time I saw that, okay? Okay. Now, pay attention here. Some is used in affirmative sense. This is okay. This is not a big problem, but I will buy some apples. What happens? Many times we just change the sentence to the negative and we continue using some. No, in the negative you have to use any, yes. And all the words that are formed with some. Somebody, somewhere, somehow, okay? It's somewhere, somehow, someone, something. I have anyhow, anywhere, anytime, whatever. I always use any in the negative, okay? Like I will not buy any apple. So this is easy. This is really basic. Pay attention to the word each. Every time I use each, I'm referring to one individual or one thing. So each requires a verb in the singular, third person singular. Each one of you is responsible for printing the material. Each boy is given a pencil. Okay? Understand?
Yes.
It's different of all. When I use all is followed by plural, and the verb must be in the plural. Like all boys are given a pencil. But when I say each, is one individual, always. So I say each boy is given, okay? Every, that is a classical mistake. In Portuguese, in Spanish, even in Italian, it is possible to say, for example, todas as noites. Okay, we use every plus plural. Okay? But in English, every is never followed by plural. Only if you need to translate into Portuguese, you translate in the plural. For example, I go out every night after class. If you need to translate this into Portuguese, you would translate like todas as noites. But in English, you have to use it in the singular. Okay? I go out every night after class. Every girl in the group was clever. Every student has to bring his or her material to class. Okay? Understand this?
Yes.
Always
Yes.
followed by singular. Now, I want to talk about something very interesting and maybe new for someone, maybe old, I don't know. Do you guys know the difference between little and a little, few and a few? Do Do you know the
No.
difference?
No.
No.
Oh,
No.
Because it's extremely interesting to learn the difference. When I say a little, understand, and little, the idea is completely different. Both a little or little are followed by something that is not countable. Okay? Like a little money, a little time, or little money, or little time. But observe something. A little is used with a positive meaning. The idea is not money, not much. I'm just saying. For example, I'm going out and then my wife asks me, do you have money? Well, I have a little. A little, it means the amount of money I have on me is not a lot, but it's sufficient for what I'm going to do. Okay? So a little has a positive meaning. On the other hand, if I say, I just have little money to go out. Little money to go out. Think, is it possible for me to go out, have some fun, or drink a beer, or take a taxi? No.
No.
Because little money has a negative connotation. Understand? Okay?
Okay.
So a little is positive, only little is negative. Yeah. Little denotes not much, but all there is. Okay? The little food he had, he gave it to the beggar woman. The little, that means not a big quantity, but he gave it to the beggar. Okay? And the same thing happens with few. For example, my son was asking me, are you happy, Daddy? I said, yes, I am happy. I have only few friends here, but I am happy. Only few friends, that means I don't have a lot. It's not a positive thing. It would be nice to have a few friends. Understand? A few friends gives the idea of a positive thing. Okay, like if you ask me, do you have any Italian books? Yes, I have a few. A few is much better than, oh, I have only few books. Understand? So not many people are aware of this difference. So it's easy. Every time you say a little, a few is positive. And few, of course, is used before plural count nouns and little before singular mass nouns. And when you say little and few, it has a negative connotation. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Understand this, Claudia, Erica, Isa,
Yeah.
Carol, Raquel?
yes.
Yes, teacher.
Very good. The same with the few. You see, the few friends he has came for the wedding. It also denotes a negative thing, like not many, but all there is. The few friends he has came for the wedding. Pay attention to the next part, please. Erica, can you read this for us? No preposition.
No preposition is placed after verbs like order, request, reach, attack, resemble, emphasize,
Emphasize,
accompany, discussed, investigate, comprise, enter,
enter,
flee,
flee,
join, affect, board, etc. When they are used in active voice.
Okay.
So should be used with that and to with to.
Now, in Portuguese, many times we place, Isa was also trying to put some background with but now you disappeared. Okay. And maybe you have to talk to Erica in private, okay? She can teach you, okay? I think
Yeah,
she
I
was...
need a solid color behind me.
Huh? You
I
need
need-
a solid color. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
What I would do it.
But I don't know what Erica needs to make the tree moves and the waves moves, okay? I will discover. I'll have a serious conversation with my friend Google.
Yeah.
So these verbs here in Portuguese, many of them are followed by a preposition to or for, okay? But in English, none of them comes with a preposition when they are used in the active voice. So you never say, I'm going to reach to him. No, I'm going to reach him, okay? To emphasize it. Accompany me, okay? Or they are going to flee her, okay? This is not going to affect us, okay?
Okay.
Good. They are so poor that they cannot afford shoes for their feet. Oh, so should be used with that or to, with to. It's the same pronunciation, to, okay? These three words here, I don't know, they are called homonyms because they have exactly the same sound, but they are different words. To. You can also ask Google to pronounce for you, and you will be surprised. Because many Brazilians say, 1, 2. There is no 2. It's 1, 2, 3. Understand? 1, 2, 3. There is even a joke. I don't know if I have ever told you. It took place in a chemistry class. The chemistry teacher asked the students, who knows what is the formula of water? Okay, this is the kind of joke that cannot be translated, because if you translate, it makes no sense. You have to understand it in English. And of course, Joãozinho raised the hand very fast and said, I do. The teacher said, okay, Joãozinho, what is the formula of water? Joãozinho said, it is HJKLMNO. The teacher said, are you crazy? The formula is H2O. And Joãozinho said, yes, teacher, that's what I said. H2O. You see?
Yeah.
So you memorized it. The formula was H, the letter H2O.
Yes.
Oh.
Because the sound is exactly the same. And it's H2O. Okay, and he thought he was right. He said, that's what I said, H2O.
Oh.
Yes. So, by saying it, H2O is the same. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So, they are so poor that they cannot afford shoes for their feet, okay, or to their feet. The boy was too clever, okay, the boy was too clever to be found not guilty. So, to, blah, 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 to be found. So that, to, it's the same. You can say, teacher, but it's the same sound. Yes, but it's possible to understand in a sentence. Okay, like, he was too clever. So I know that is not T-O, it's T-O-O. To be found, to be, I know it's T-O because of the construction, okay? In English, you have these many times. You only understand because of the sentence, okay? It's just like the many homonyms, like, for example, this new word is difficult for me. Meet and meet. It's exactly the same. But when I say, nice to meet you, of course it's the second one. You only understand by the context. But if I say, well, I'm sorry, I'm a vegetarian, I don't eat meat. So it can't be the second, it is the first, okay? So in a conversation, sometimes you only understand when a student asks me, what is the meaning of meat? What is the first question I ask him? How do you spell it?
For the context.
No, how do you spell it?
Oh.
Yes, if I don't know how to spell, it can be meat or meat. Understand? So we need to see the word.
Oh, teacher,
Okay.
by the way, we have here in São Paulo a nice restaurant. And the name of this restaurant make a joke with this. The restaurant is a restaurant, the meat restaurant, and the name is Nice to Meet You. But the meat, is the with the to eat. No? The meat is carne.
Yes, the flesh.
Yeah, the flesh. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's very good. By the way.
Well, but it's better than a restaurant that I saw in the interior of São Paulo. When I saw the name, I started laughing so much because I think you guys are familiar with the word barbecue, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Barbecue. Barbecue can be abbreviated like this. BBQ, barbecue. It's the same.
Yeah.
But the name of the restaurant was, I will never forget this. Barbie.
I thought about it.
Can you believe this? Why is the guy going to kill Barbie? Poor Barbie, okay? She's so innocent, okay? So naive. Barbecue. And there was Barbecue dos Pampas. And I said, oh my gosh. Okay.
It's smart.
Yeah, I don't know if it was smart or really dumb.
I like it.
Yes. Barbecue. Yeah, so if you are a Barbie, you cannot go there, okay? Because you'll be killed. Sometimes Brazilians want to make things sophisticated, but they don't think much, okay?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think I've stayed in a 5-star hotel in Brazil. And in the coffee shop in the morning, 50% of the signs where they wrote the names were completely wrong. Understand? I don't know. I think not even Google would make such a confusion like that in translating the names, okay? There was one that was like this, coconut to eat. Can you try to imagine if you were an American, what was this?
Coconut to eat?
It was something like this, as far as I remember.
É a carne do coco que eles estavam servindo?
No. It was manjar de coco. Ah, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Coconut to, I'm thinking in Italian now. I'm sorry, mangia. Coconut to understand. That was it.
Huh?
Coconut to understand. I stopped in front and I was looking at the sign for about 5 minutes. Coconut to understand. Then I thought, what was the intention of the guy? Manjar, eu manjo, I understand.
I understand.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
My God.
Coconut to understand. That was the idea. Yeah, I wrote to it because my mind now is kind of confusing, okay? Mangia che ti fa bene, okay?
Molto bene.
Today it was very funny because my neighbor asked me, Roberto, where are you putting your organic trash? Because here
You are
you
not
must...
separating, teacher.
No, that's the point. You must separate. I do separate everything, plastic, metal, okay? But he couldn't find any organic thing. And he said, where are you putting your organic trash? And I said,
You don't have.
I don't have an organic trash. He said, what do you mean? I said, oh, mangio tutti. Okay, like, I eat everything. No leftovers, understand? And he said, oh my gosh, that's why you're big. I said, of course, okay, mangio tutti.
We call you fat, teacher.
Oh, I am a big guy, okay? But it was funny because he started laughing a lot, okay? I never throw away any leftovers, okay? There are no leftovers. I eat everything, understand? So, okay. Pay attention here. Let's continue before we run out of time again. Oh, he went for a trip last week, okay? So adverbs of manner, place, and time generally come after the verb or the object. In Portuguese, many times we start a sentence with last week he went for a trip. It's not totally incorrect, but the best position for an adverb of time, manner, or place is at the end of the sentence or after the verb or after the object. That's it. Understand? Like if I say, she dances. She dances. She dances what? Let's say salsa. That's the object. Then you ask, how? Well. Okay? Well is an adverb of manner. It's used after the object in this case. Okay? So if I say she speaks English. How? Well. Or she speaks good English. In this case, good is an adjective, it's not an adverb. It's not modifying the verb, it's modifying the noun English. Okay, so it's different. She speaks good English or she speaks English well. Okay? And the same with the adverbs of place and time. What if I have both? For example, I saw Mary at the club, adverb of place. Yesterday, adverb of time. If I have both, the position is this. First place, then time. If you say, I saw Mary yesterday at the club. No. I saw Mary. Where? At the club. When? Yesterday. Okay? The time is always the last. If I have time and place, first place, then time. Okay? I'm going to Milan tomorrow. Okay? Milan, adverb of place. Tomorrow, adverb of time. All right?
You don't say like yesterday I saw Mary. Is not correct?
That's what I said. it is not incorrect, but if you start like yesterday, it would be necessary to have like
A comma.
I saw Mary at the club. You know what Brazilians many times do, Raquel, and that is incorrect. For example, yesterday was very cold. Think about it. What is the problem?
We don't have
Yesterday, exactly, Carol. Yesterday
is not a subject.
No, yesterday is an adverb of time.
Of time.
It can't be the subject, understand? And
Yes.
for some reason in Portuguese we do this. Like,
Yes.
and in English it's not acceptable, okay? You can say yesterday, comma, it was really cold. Okay, you need a subject, okay?
Okay.
Good.
Teacher, I thought that Beatle was wrong with his song yesterday. All phrases start with yesterday in the song.
Erica, it's amazing the number of mistakes that you find in songs. It's amazing. Because when they write a song, I can imagine two things. Either they are worried about the rhythm and not the grammar, or they smoke something and they write a song. Because one day a student asked me, what was the meaning of butterflies in the wheels? I said, what?
It doesn't have any
Butterflies.
meaning.
Exactly, butterflies in the wheels. Said, I never heard this. No, I think it's an expression. I said, okay, but I've never heard. No, but I heard it. I said, well. And at that time, Google had not been invented yet. So what did I do? One of my best friends in the United States is an English professor with a PhD degree, a postdoctorate degree in English literature and everything. And then I wrote to him, Jeff, what the hell is the meaning of butterflies in the wheels? He said, where did you hear that? No, a student of mine asked me. Ask him where did he hear that, because I've never heard. And then I asked the guy again, he told me it was in a song. The guy said, probably butterflies in the wheel means a lot of acid in the brain, because the word doesn't exist, okay? So I think the guy took some acid and described butterflies in the wheels, okay? So it's difficult. When I teach songs, I always say, oh, you said the Beatles. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care. You see?
Yeah.
Imagine if he was going to say, but she doesn't care.
Care.
It would break the rhythm, understand? And speaking of songs, continuing in the same topic, I remember that I had one day when I was preparing myself to take the TOEFL test in the US about 100 years ago. My teacher told me that it is not possible to have double negative in a sentence. A double negative is positive, so you can't use double negative. And I was a very serious student. I studied that. But at the same night, as a young boy, single, I went out, I went to a disco with my friends. And yes, I still remember that part. And it was the Saturday Night Fever, time. And then I went to this disco and the Bee Gees started playing. And I heard, if I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby. I was having a good time dancing, but when I heard this, like, bing, I don't want nobody. And I thought, it's not correct. And that frustrated me because it destroyed my night, understand?
They destroy the music.
No, and I remember that I kept thinking about this stupid song. If I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby. The next morning, I walked into class and I said, teacher, do you remember what we studied yesterday? He said, yes. So how about if I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby? He said, yes, go complain to the PGs about that, okay? That's wrong. So, you see, you can't learn, you can learn English, but not grammar, okay? So, the same case here, he didn't want to talk continuously. That's an adverb of manner, use it after the verb. He didn't want to talk. How? Continuously.
Yes.
Adverbs of frequency, on the other hand, adverbs of manner, place, and time generally come after the verb or the object. But adverbs of frequency, like always, ever, never, seldom, scarcely, barely, often, usually, generally, they come before the verb they modify, or I can even add it here. Before the main verb they modify, or after auxiliary verbs. For instance, I am always available to talk to my students. I am always available to talk to my students. The verb to be. So I say, I am always. Like you are always on my mind. Okay? Now, if I change the verb to work, I have to use it before. I always work late. Okay? I always work late. It's before the verb, because it's an adverb of frequency. Right? Understand this?
Yes.
Yes.
Piece of cake. This is easy. Okay. MPT. What is this? That's the sequence of manner, place, and time. So maybe it's not MPB, it's MPT. If you memorize, manner comes first, then place, and then time. So the woman quietly left the room after receiving the bad news. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Adverbs come before the adjective or another adverb it modifies. The dancer was almost ready for the show. And unfortunately, we don't have any more time, but we have not finished. Yeah, we still have a few more. Okay.
Just 2 pages.
Yeah, 2 pages. 2 pages that will be around the orange pumpkin, okay? Because it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning here, okay?
Yes, teacher.
I hope you have a wonderful evening, okay? I
Thank you.
will really try to learn how to make the things move behind me by Monday. Okay?
I hope to see a beach
I
on
have-
Monday.
Oh,
Is it possible to be a bitch or you want to see a beach?
Beach.
Yeah, because if you wanted to see a beach, I would just go out and take some photographs. There are many near my house. Understand? But a beach, I think the closest one from my house is in Genova. Okay, that's a little far south. Okay, and I'm not planning to go to Genova now. Okay. But if you want a beach, I can get a picture, okay? That's another problem, okay? That's another problem. Many times I ask my students, what did you do last weekend? Oh, I went to the beach.
To the beach.
Did Did you pay a lot of money? They go like, what?
No, it's for free.
Yeah, no, it was not expensive. Oh, really? Okay. Maybe she was bad. What are you talking about, teacher? You went to the beach and it was not expensive? Brazilians always confuse beach with beach, okay? Beach, you need to smile. Beach, okay?
Beach.
Yes. Anyway,
Thank
have a
you.
nice, wonderful weekend.
You
See you
too,
on
teacher.
Monday. Carol, see you on Monday in the
Thank you.
morning, okay?
Yes, teacher, yes.
See
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See
Have
you.
a great
Have
weekend.
a good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.